founder from VoiceSkillsInc, or VSI, and welcome back to Few Minutes in Voice, where we give you the latest news in voice technology, interview industry experts, and give you our opinion and review of some of the new and exciting skills on the Amazon Alexa skill store. Today's episode will feature Nick Saka, where he will be sharing his journey as an Alexa developer. We will also be reviewing Apache Wild. Now, before we get any further, let's talk about what's new in Alexa. The only thing that I could really find that is new this week is that Alexa allows you to ask to call Audible. So what does that mean? That means that you can simply say, "Hey Alexa, call Audible," and you're able to scan through the million of audiobooks that are on the Amazon Alexa skill store. So before we go any further, let's hear what Nick Saka has to say about being an Alexa developer.
Hey, how are you, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good, just hanging out up here in Detroit.
Oh, nice. Well, thanks for taking some time to talk to us here at VSI. Could you start off a little bit by telling us who you are?
Yes, my name's Nick Saka, and I am a 18-year veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard, and I just recently got into Alexa skill building, probably about 2.5, 3 years ago, whenever the SDK came out. I'd like to consider myself a little bit less than an intermediate, but I know just enough to be dangerous.
Oh, nice. So, were you a developer prior to this, or is this just something that piqued your interest and you were looking to do?
It's something that piqued my interest. I tried to do iOS development, but that's really tough. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, whenever I compare iOS development to voice development is still in its beginning stages. It's just starting to grow. Whereas iOS, you have to catch up on people who have almost a decade of experience on you. So it's really tough to find a wedge into that field. So with voice development, it was rather easy because I'm growing with the actual platform itself.
Oh, that's awesome. So, you give hope to people like me that are just learning or people that are looking to enter the space. It's still the wild, wild west.
Exactly, it's still Wild Wild West. Nobody's actually paved those roads yet. So it's still, you're still able to get in on the ground floor. I believe so, at least for the meantime.
Yeah, no, I think I would agree with you. And that's pretty exciting. I think a lot of people are trying to navigate the landscape and figure out kind of what's the best tools to use or maybe method to develop a skill. So kind of on that note, could you potentially tell us maybe what some of your challenges have been, as you entered the space, maybe in your skill development as a developer? Because I'm sure a lot of people maybe could share similar interests to you or sometimes look for some insight.
Yeah, I think some of the challenges come with people not fully understanding the SDK or the limitations of it.
So for people that don't know, could you explain what SDK is?
The skills development kit. And so right now they're on version 2.0, which is great. And it's a lot easier and a lot better to design for than using version 1.0. There's a lot of things that you're able to do and do a little bit quicker by using that. But what's challenging is being able to explain what the actual technology's limitation is, and just getting those points across to potential customers or clients.
So you feel like it's a limitation from the skills development kit?
Mm-hmm. Because certain people will ask for certain stuff. It could be a client who asks for um, a product or the skill to do some sort of ability that just isn't there yet. And you may be able to do it through third party means, but from my experience, if you use something that's third party, like foreign to Amazon, I just feel that you're taking a chance. You're putting another hand in the pot.
Right.
I like to stick with AWS. I like to stick with the developer console. I like to kind of keep it all in house. That's one of the reasons why, and I don't know any of the developers have been on to the developer kit lately, but they have a block that's set aside for code. And they're going to get to the point where you're actually going to be able to design skills within the actual developer console, which I think is going to be phenomenal, because I hate how I have to bounce back and forth between AWS and the developer console. To have
Oh,
that all
right.
done in one house is going to be nice. But there's going to be some a learning curve to it. Like I haven't even looked at that as a potential yet.
Oh yeah, no, we're all learning in this space. So, it's good to know that people like you, even that you have been in this space, like kind of boots on the ground, that you are also still struggling. So I know, like we talked a little bit earlier about, some of the struggles you've had in terms of people using your skills. So could you maybe like elaborate a little bit about that? I know you've developed a lot of skills on the Lexus Skills Store, but a lot of challenges that people are having is like, how do you get people to utilize those skills, or how do you know if the skill you're creating is something that people actually want?
Yeah, I think I think what you have to do is you have to ask yourself a couple questions. And the first one is, can she already do this? So if you don't want to spin your wheels and get crazy and waste days of coding. If you're trying to get a Bitcoin price, and you could just ask her, hey, what's the price of Bitcoin? She's going to give that to you anyhow. So you
Right.
got to look at what she can't do, and you got to try to capitalize on that.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as marketing goes, I say that you have to self-market yourself. Every single Facebook group that pops up that has Amazon, that has her name involved, you should be a part of, and post to grind that axe, and be on LinkedIn, be a power, um, or be a voice in the community, and say, listen, this skill came out, this is what makes it unique. And that kind of goes back to our skill that we had developed in Christmas time, Dear Santa, and the ability for kids to actually request stuff. And we were
Mm-hmm.
seeing some of that data come in as far as usage, and we were getting a lot of usage. We were staying number 3 and